Hey everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here. Today I'm going to show you how to make a layout with hiking pictures with Cosette papers and stickers. So first impression of the Cosette collection, I thought heritage pictures and ancestry and maybe some more formal portraits, but you can really use this paper for outdoor pictures, so I decided to use it for some hiking pictures. So I'm also going to use the stamp set called Change of Scenery and some of the Cosette die cuts. Okay, so I have cut several triangles using my Cricut. I just went into Design Space and picked some basic free shapes and just did various sizes of triangles for the Cosette pattern papers. And then I have a piece of the mix-in papers. This is the Seabrook piece and some pine cardstock. So these are the pictures that I'm going to be working with. It's a day hike that I took with my husband and our nephew. It's a hiking trail not too far from where we live. And I've printed my pictures with a white border. Okay, so we're going to bring in some of the triangles and I'm going to lay them out. I've also cut two of these images from the You Are Here collection on my Cricut. And then I have a bunch of these triangles. So just going to kind of lay them out and create a background design with these triangles. And then I've also cut mats for all of my pictures in pine. So we'll just kind of get these laid out, figure out the general design of my page here, figure out where they all fit. Okay, I'm liking that. So these are the mats to define the pictures against all those busy patterns from Cosette. And then I'm going to ink all of my triangles and that mix-in base. Okay, so I'm just sponging, using a sponge dauber and inking pine ink around all of my triangles. So we'll skip ahead in just a second. Just want them to stand out a little bit more against that Seabrook base. Okay, so this is the general design. And I'm going to speed this up in just a second, but I'm going to leave in all of the adhering of all of these triangles just so you can see how it all comes together. I'm using my T-square, make sure everything's straight, and we'll go ahead and speed things up. So I started with laying down the largest triangle up against the edge of that Seabrook pattern paper mix-ins. And then I'm just kind of working all the other triangles around it and leaving a tiny bit between the triangles. Not really measuring, just kind of laying things out the way I like them. And I'm going to start with that triangle over on the right side and butt it up against the edge of the paper and then start moving things around to line up with that triangle. And again, looked off to me, so I'm bringing in my T-square, make sure it's straight. And you'll see as these come together, I'm kind of creating a starburst pattern between all of the triangles here. And then you'll see that that mirrors the Cricut cut image that I'm going to put down in that bottom corner. Okay, so that's our base. And then I've mounted all the pictures onto mats of pine. And I'm going to pop everything with foam tape. So we'll get all our pictures down. And then I've popped the title as well. So get all these down, and then I'm going to create a journal block. Okay. So I'm just going to bring in a piece of French vanilla, and it's just a scrap piece, and I'm going to create a journal block here. So I'm just measuring to see how much space I have there, and then I'm going to use some of this pine Cosette paper and create a mat. So I'll get that down and then trim around it. And then I decided I wanted to sponge some pine ink around that French vanilla piece. So fortunately I was able to peel it off of that mat and then ink around the edges real quick. Just to keep everything the same. My triangles are all inked and the matte base is inked, so we'll ink that. Okay, so I'm bringing in the change of scenery stamp set, and I'm going to stamp on this journal block. So I'm going to use this mountain scene stamp. And I'll just use the padding from the stamp set for a little cushion. And I'm going to ink up my stamp in toffee ink. And I'll stamp that down. Then I'm going to bring in some pine ink and the stamp that says "This View." And I'm just seasoning it by rubbing it on my wrist there to make sure that it will take ink, because the letters are solid, so seasoning helps the stamp pick up the ink smoothly. And I'm stamping that down. Then I'll bring in my T-square and a pencil, and I'm going to draw some lines to journal on. And I'll journal later off screen. Now I have my journal box all ready to go. And we can add that to the layout. Okay, we'll get cleaned up real quick, and then we can start decorating. Okay, so we'll get the journal box down, and then we'll bring in stickers and some of the die cuts from Cosette. Okay, so I like to cut my stickers off of the carrier sheet just so that I can play around with placement before sticking them down. And I've fussed with this layout quite a bit. There's a lot going on with all the patterns, and with these stickers it was a bit cluttered, and I kind of feel like it is still, but I wanted to use these stickers. And like this, the square there, that one kind of coordinates the same color that my t-shirt is, so I'm going to create kind of a visual triangle with those colors and the flowers as well. So I brought in one of the, it's kind of a washi or paint swipe sticker, and made that a base so that I can set those flowers on it. And then I'm going to bring in these die cuts, embellishments from Cosette. I'm going to use some of the butterflies and that stamp image, and I've inked all the edges with toffee ink. So I'll use a butterfly, and Work everything around in that on the right side. I wound up adding another small butterfly. And then we'll work on embellishing the left page. And off screen, I wound up adding an extra green triangle underneath this cluster here because it was kind of blending in with the background. So you'll see that in the final pictures. So don't be afraid to cut your stickers if they don't fit where you need them. You can always just chop off part of them and make it work. So I'm going to get all those added, and then I'll add a butterfly. And then I'm going to scatter a whole bunch of these green dots around. They come in 3 different colors, and one of them is pine. So I'm going to use all of the pine dots in this packet and just scatter a whole bunch of them around. And then they also come in stars and hearts, and so I wound up using a star from this collection as well, and you'll see that in just a second. So I'm just scattering a whole bunch of these dots everywhere. And of course I have to add some extra bling, and I'm bringing in some of these bitty sparkles and putting them in the little openings of this Cricut cut that are stars. So we have a little sparkle in there, and there's that other star. I'll have some close-up shots in just a second. So all of these supplies are currently available in my online store, and I will make a list of all of them with links in the description below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it, and then you'll be able to find all of my videos. I publish 2 videos a week, a layout video and a card making video, usually on Mondays and Wednesdays, except for the weeks where the 25th of the month falls, like this week, when I publish the mystery envelope video. So yes, you can use Cosette for outdoor and hiking pictures. And thanks for watching.